Extreme weather across the globe is having drastic repercussions. Let's now tell you what is happening currently in the United States. In Pennsylvania, at least 5 people have been injured as 2 separate tornadoes touched down. One of them hit a car dealership building directly, forcing its roof to collapse completely. The storm has left a trail of destruction. More than 8,000 homes and businesses were left without power by the storm.
I'm told all 5 individuals are not life-threatening and not critical in nature. All seem to be minor, some trauma, but minor in nature. This was a devastating tornado that came through. There's a lot of structural damage in this area. The Faulkner area just looked like a TV show. It just looked like a bomb went off. I mean, it's gone. Water flowing. You could smell gas until PECO was able to get out there and shut things and secure things. You know, I've been doing this for 34 years. I never saw that kind of devastation.
The situation in Wisconsin is equally concerning. Strong thunderstorms have caused widespread damage across Wisconsin. Tens of thousands are currently living without power and have caused structural damage, which is highly expected now. But worse is set for the future. Authorities have triggered tornado warnings. The severe weather is stretching from the Mississippi River to, in fact, Lake Michigan. The National Weather Service has now surveyed the hard-hit areas in southeastern Wisconsin for now. Several people were injured and many were displaced as well after the tornado ripped through a part of southern Ontario City. Ontario's mayor confirmed that while there has been extensive property damage, no loss of life was reported in Canada so far. Paramedics said that 8 people were taken to a hospital, including 4 who had suffered serious injuries. Emergency crews went door to door to check on the residents after the tornado. And according to fire officials, up to 25 buildings suffered significant damage, with roughly 20 considered to be uninhabitable and 2 or 3 completely destroyed. The tornado has now damaged gas lines and even caused power outages.
And I am very relieved to report that we have no confirmed fatalities at this time. We do not believe anyone's been killed. The city is following its emergency response plan. As I mentioned, the damage is extensive. Both Barrie Fire and police are doing door-to-door searches right now, taking a look at the condition of the homes, trying to make sure that everybody is safe.
Meanwhile, environmentalists say that the desalination destroys marine life. It's not energy efficient and definitely not inexpensive, but as the western U.S. faces massive drought conditions, the U.S. regulators seem ready to approve a new desalination plant in California's Huntington Beach. Droughts and water scarcity have been plaguing California since the late 19th century. The state has been facing one of the most brutal droughts this year. Several wildfires have gutted swathes of forest land in the state. Scientists say that climate change has worsened the situation. The Poseidon plant will be one of the biggest desalination plants in the world, and authorities believe that it will be able to quell the problem. The saltwater plant will be set up at a cost of $1.4 billion. The water plant would produce about 50 million gallons of drinking water every day. California's Coastal Commission is likely to vote in favor of the plant by this year's end. The Regional Water Board has given a permit to the same, but on the condition that it will raise its commitment to rehabilitate Bolsa Chica Wetlands Reserve and build an artificial reef.
The impacts from the intake of seawater for the purposes of desalination is the entrainment of microscopic organisms. In the case of Huntington Beach, the total quantity of impact would be no more than 0.02% of the plankton at risk of being entrained. There's no threatened or endangered species that are at risk, and the mitigation that's in place will ensure that the project will be a net environmental benefit by producing more habitat than will be impacted by the operation of the facility.
Experts say that more studies on the desalination plant's effect on sea land is now needed. This as the intake pipes will be constructed for the power plant's cooling system. A state environmental report has found that about 19.4 billion fish larvae and 2.7 million fish, among other sea animals, were killed by water intake equipment. For every gallon of drinkable water, the plant will also dump another gallon of salty brine into the ocean. Hydrologists say that the dense discharge deposits itself on the ocean floor, and this will expose life at the ocean's bottom to the brine and other toxins. According to a report by Santa Ana Regional Water Control Board, the water intake and discharge at the Huntington Beach will kill almost 421 acres of ocean habitat.
It's great to be water independent, and we should be striving for that, but we should be doing it in a responsible way. And desalinated water is not the way to go. Again, this is the most expensive way to source water. It's the most energy-intensive way to do it, and the way it decimates the ocean, both by the intake and by how we're dumping brine back into the ocean, is really not. It should be the last resort, not the first way we're sourcing water.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.